Brother, it is great to see you, man, because the last time you and I talked was in 2019 when you had released some music. Excuse me. And you were in Toronto. We did a one on one video interview. And man, it seemed like it was so far away when I'm thinking about it because the world was one way. I mean, you were looking so good. You were losing weight. I mean, it was a fun interview. And then the world changed, man. And here
Yeah,
we are again talking about new music, thank goodness. And it sounds
yeah,
like it's going to be a new world, but it's kind of
yeah,
been off of a rocky start. How you been holding up throughout everything we're seeing in social media, wearing masks, I mean, COVID, and even
well,
as we're slowly coming out, the world is still shaking away, man.
yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I didn't see it as much. Like I've been down in Nashville for a while, and to say it's been pretty lenient down here. Like I haven't been really wearing a mask for about 6 months now, so I did get to avoid that a little bit down here. But saying that, I was back up in Canada for the first year of it, and yeah, I didn't expect to actually be down here. I got offered a publishing deal when I was in Canada, when I've been trying to get one down here for like 4 or 5 years, never got one. And then where do I get one? During a pandemic up in the bush. So drove 36 hours and back down here in Nashville writing songs. That's all what happened.
Well, hold on. So, were you dealing with? I think there were floods going on and tornadoes or stuff that was going on in Nashville for like the last during the pandemic.
Right at the beginning of the pandemic, there was a tornado. Yeah, that's right. There was a tornado there. It missed the place I was staying in by a couple blocks. It was pretty scary. And
Wow.
COVID happened, and I went back to Canada, obviously, because at that point people were scared, and they wanted, we wanted to return home, and obviously not having health care down in the United States is pretty terrifying. So yeah, went back to Canada, and then I guess I've been coming back quite often, but once I got the publishing deals, when I took the drive back down here, yeah.
Well, congratulations on that, man. But I'm curious though, and this is something I've asked a lot of artists in the last 2.5 years. How were you able to record music during this time?
Hmm.
Because a lot of people who didn't have home studios definitely now have home studios. Their closets have become their sound booths. Like, how creative have you had to be? Like, just the fact of 3 years ago, I'd never heard of the word Zoom. And here
Yeah.
you and I are doing Zoom interviews,
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
how did you cope with all that? And how did you adapt?
Yeah, the Zoom company stocks definitely went up for songwriters during the pandemic. That's for sure. Yeah, I never thought I'd be writing on Zoom, but you know what? I think it's a great thing too. It connects you with artists and people all around the world, and I think it's a helpful tool. Like I do a lot of writing still, with people back home on Zoom all the time, and it's great. But saying that, there's something really special about being in a room with someone, and you know, having that vibe in the room is still what I like doing. But saying that, Zoom's helped out a lot, and yeah, it's funny how the world's definitely changed from this last 2 years for sure.
It's like comparing MP3 to a vinyl record.
Hmm.
Which one do you want to listen to and which one is adaptable for you, too? I always go with
Absolutely,
vinyl. And to
absolutely.
me, vinyl is being together. So, but yeah, a lot of changes, man. But has your writing, your stories in your music, did it
Hmm.
change because of the pandemic? Like, was your mind in writing music a certain way before, and then once the pandemic hit, and the things that you were able to see and the things that you experienced, did it change the stories and how you wrote music?
Um, Definitely. Having this time off, it's the longest I've had ever since I've ever put out a song. Usually, you're so rushing, to get some songs out, keep things going, and I really just took a step back, and I was like, you know what? It's at the end of the day, it's about the music, and I think I wrote close to 100 songs and picked six on, and and I'm writing every day down here, and it just gives you more to choose from. Not only writing every day, but now that I have access to writing with some of the bigger writers, it's schooling for me. I'm learning. Like this is a process, and I think it will show in my music when people hear it. I hope they hear more maturity in my sound and my songwriting, and every day just trying to get better.
What about touring? Were you set the tour? Did it stop? And I know there were certain points where things sort of opened up and then it didn't open up, and you could tour, but you could only go to certain places because those places were closed. What was that like? The deal with that.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I played 2 shows in the last 2 years, not on
Wow.
Zoom or on, and I miss it. It's nice to see things starting to get back to normal. And I said to a few fans, I think live music's going to be bigger and stronger than ever, because I think
Yeah.
people are realizing, from this, how important it is to go out and watch live music and just having that energy. And it's just not the same watching it through a camera, just being there and witnessing it all. And I think this is a great thing for the music industry going forward with the live venues. I think you're going to see more sellout crowds and more fans than ever.
Definitely do. And when you're out there performing, it's great to have the past hits, but it's also cool when you got new music. You, my
Mm,
friend, have a new single. I love the story behind this. Let's make this official on this point. What
yeah.
is the new single called? Like I said, I love the story. What's it about?
That's Can't Beat the View. To be honest, the songwriting was never supposed to happen. I wrote it with my best friends down here. Two of the guys were writing with another artist who canceled. I was supposed to write with my friend with another artist who canceled, and they were like, "Man, our artist canceled." I'm like, "So did ours." I'm like, "Why don't we just all meet up and write together, 4 of us?" And they're like, "Sure, why not?" And we're sitting there, and I think one of my friends there looked out the window and was like, "What a beautiful! That's a great view, man. What a beautiful!" And then my buddy's like, "Yeah, you can't beat that view." And I'm like, "Hey, that's not a song title. Let's write that." And then the song eventually evolved into all the beautiful places we've been around the world. And then we brought the girl into it. And obviously the girl is the ultimate view, your partner. And yeah, it just kind of came about that way.
Now I know it just came out, but what's the reaction been like with fans? Because honestly, man, I feel like this single is gonna be the pickup single during the summer when a guy wants to meet a girl, or even if a girl wants to meet a guy, or whoever wants to meet whoever.
Totally. I'm glad you said that. I think the same thing. Yeah, I think just an upbeat, fun lifting song. I think people can, and like you said, the timing of it coming into summer, I think couldn't be more perfect. And I got to cut the record with a guy named Jeremy Stover, a Julian King, and I did all the vocals with a guy named Dan Swiminer up in Canada. And and man, what an experience! Even working with Jeremy, who works on Justin Moore's records, and he listened to my demos and was like, "Chris, get on down here." I'm like, "Well, it's a pandemic. It's kind of hard to get down there." He's like, "You got 2 weeks to get down here, or it's not gonna happen." Got down. So the album came together pretty quick, but yeah, it was my first time cutting a record down here in the United States and with a #1 producer. And I think it's just a great experience all around. Yeah, super
You
happy.
use the term album, man. What's going on with this?
Yeah, so in the fall we're gonna definitely drop 6 songs. Could be more, but there will be an EP coming out in the fall of the songs that I did. So yeah, lots of new music coming.
Looking forward to it, man.
Hmm.
What about now that things are opening up? I know as I'm speaking from Ontario, we're
Hmm.
actually going to be supposedly, as we speak, in the next couple of weeks, the mandate for masks are going to be eliminated, and hopefully it'll stay that way. But you never know; things can happen and change up. What's happening tour wise? Could you be coming back to Ontario? What's going to happen with you across Canada, U.S., UK, whatever? What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. I actually spent my early years in Ontario. I got a lot of family up near Midland, Penetanguishene.
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with Ontario. I love going back. I love seeing my family, and I think it's just a matter of time before I'm there and out on the road and touring. And I think it'll happen sooner rather than later. So I feel like it's going to happen real soon here, and I hope I can announce something soon as well. And then you'll be the first I let know.
Looking forward to that, man. Towards I think it's like towards the end of the year, somewhere around there. CCMAs, Calgary. Any chance we're going to see you up there?
100%. You'll definitely see me there. Over the pandemic, I didn't even mention this. I ended up, for some reason, randomly buying a place up just north of Kelowna in the Okanagan. So I spent a lot of the pandemic up there, and I just fell in love with it. And saying that, it's not too far of a drive to Calgary. I think we got a 6 or 7 hour drive from there. So I'll definitely be in Calgary.
This is going to be so cool, man. I'm crossing fingers I'm going to be able to make it up there too. Um, Last year's was so much fun, even though we had that, and thank God we had that window in London to do it. because it was like as soon as it was over, things started closing back up to us. So happy with that. But it was great to see everybody, and it would have been great for you to be there. But looking forward to this year. It's happening too, man.
Yeah.
So many good things are going on, man. You're part of that vibe. I got to say, man, congrats on the new music. Looking forward to talking to you about the new EP coming up. Crossing
Yeah.
fingers that we can talk again in person. You being here
Yeah.
in Ontario for some shows, and just all around big time success for you, my friend. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's always great talking with you, and I appreciate your support for all of us artists over the years, man. I know you've been getting us out there, and I'm very grateful for that, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Have a great day.